Hey guys, we're back at it again. Another Minecraft video. This time, I'm not gonna be talking about any of the canon events. Not today, not today. Uh, I'll talk about an experience I had last year. So this video is gonna be really short, but I just want to share this out there. Maybe one day everyone's gonna forget about me and this surreal journey I had last year will be forgotten. I mean, right now, no, I feel like I'm the only person who remembers it. It's not really that amazing or anything, but I'm still pretty proud of it because I proved to myself that yes, if I do put my mind onto something, then I can definitely achieve it. And of course, that's with the greatest supporting cast I've had in recent times. The entirety of the gang was still there, you know. Relationship was 100% unlike the zero it is now. And yeah, no, it was a great school year. So basically, right, last year was crazy. And that's because I was entering the how I don't know how other countries would describe. No, no. Okay, I was going into 11th grade. Okay, last year I was 10th grade, and basically, here in my country, we didn't have 11th and 12th grade until what, 2016. So we had a whole what 4 years of high school thing for you know high school, of course. But now it's 6 years. Well, that is if you consider like I really don't know the measurements in other countries. Okay, forgive me, because here in my country, there's of course kindergarten. We have grade levels from kindergarten 1 to 2, and then we enter into elementary, which is grades 1 to 6. And I believe there's a middle school for other countries. You just go like high school. After 6th grade, you're gonna go 7th to 10th, or that's how it was until until they changed it. They changed it by adding 2 more years to be able to compete with other countries. Yet my country is still on a very very low list. So yeah, it's fine. It happens, right? It happens. Anyways, going back to what I was saying, I was turning 11th grade. All right, and last year was arguably my greatest academic performance of all time, because not only did I clutch top three, I did it without being even in the top five list for the entirety of the school year. You know, Let me explain how the grading system kind of or works. So in my school, we base grades by number. You could get a grade from 75 below to 98. It's pretty rare getting a 60, although it does happen to some unfortunate people. Anyways, to in my school, we have this honors list, this achievers list, if I may. Basically, it's a whole ranking system, right? But instead of top one, top two, top three, top four, top five, all of that, it's by ranking. Or no, no, that's just top 1 to 10. It's like it's by rank, but not numerical. It's more achiever It's the lowest. Well, the lowest you could do is not get a rank. Then you got bronze, and then you got silver, and then you get gold. All right. So I believe we had 10 subjects last year. And we had 10 subjects last year, and I had, and my greatest goal, my goal last year was to get the gold rank. All right, the gold rank. To achieve it, you need to get a average of 96, a 96 grade from, well, all of the subjects, all 10 of those subjects. I think we even had 11. I forget. Sometimes I mix up the how much subjects we have now and then. Going back, needed to average 96. All right, or I needed to get an average of 96. And before the school year even started, I was already somewhat tryharding. I was asking former grade 10 students what their notes were and all that, because I believe that was my last chance to get the gold rank. Because, well, the 2 years of high school afterwards was, or I thought was going to be really hard. I'm not gonna speak of it right now because I'm doing much better than last year actually for some reason. But that kind of mentality, like that was my last chance, it really did push me. Okay. So continuing on, I wanna add there are 4 quarters in our school year, basically. But you know how like a school year lasts 10 months? I believe we only lasted like we had a 9 month long school year, 9 month, 8 month long school year last year. So it was pretty rushed because our school was trying to fix the schedule after the effects of the pandemic, right? So, with them wanting to fix the schedule, we had to be, well, we were affected. So it was a much harder experience than the other students, right? Or so I thought it was. Sure, the deadlines were definitely much harder. All right, like they were rushing everything, but that's the thing. They were rushing everything. So I kind of missed out on some really cool things, but there are also some, how would you call this, school activities that were really like how really difficult compared to the substitutes we had for them. All right, so I guess it's like there were pros, there were also cons. Yeah, sure, we had less time, but that also means teachers had less time to discuss the lessons and all that. It's that process, basically. So I think I've given a pretty okay background, to summarize what I've said. Last school year, or for a school year here, we have 4 quarters divided into the whole school year. And oh yeah, I also want to add one thing. If you don't make the honors once, if you don't get an achiever rank or bronze, silver, gold, whatever, you don't have a second chance. If you fail to get it the first quarter, then you can't get it the next. So yeah, I'm really against that. It really ruins the motivation for students, but it's whatever. Going back, the first quarter rolls around, and that's when I knew that school year was definitely different because okay, this may not be a shock because it's probably much worse for other countries, but for grade 9, so the year before this happened, our classes, the latest it ended was probably No. Okay, so our classes would normally end at 3:30. All right. On a Monday, it would end what? 4:20, but that's that one day. And then we could end at 2:40 on a Tuesday, 3:30 on other days, right? Last year was the first time in 4 years where the school schedule was from 7 to 4. That was shocking. 'Cause it was like that for the whole week. I know it kind of sounds like it's nothing. It's probably everyone else has it much harder, right? But that transition for us was insane. But we had to keep going because what else could we do? We can't change the schedule of the school. I mean, it's much worse now. We have 7 to 5, 4 days of the week. No, 3 days right now. It's not really that important. Last year there were, I believe, 3 days where we would end at 4:20 p.m. And on Wednesdays, we had half days, so we only went to school during the morning. And for Fridays, there were only 2 periods um in the afternoon. The school periods were 50 minutes per period, by the way, per subject. So yeah, that was the first thing that shocked me. Okay, the time, the schedule, and of course, I was complaining, but what else could you really do? But I was also really excited as it was finally time to perform, to achieve that goal. So the first quarter was pretty chaotic. There were very time consuming activities that were given, even though we didn't really have that much time. No, no, no. Actually, I'm mixing it up. The first quarter was actually had, I'd say, just one of the easiest activities because all the subjects were collabed into this one little symposium we had. Looking back, we we spent a lot of overtime at school. We went home around 7, almost 8 at sometimes. This was prime relationship too, so it was pretty fun. But um, you know, after all that, exams rolled around. I had a pretty okay scores. One mistake, two mistakes, but I feel like no, I really would have gotten it. All right, I feel like I really would have gotten it. My first quarter average was a 95.25, 0.75 away from achieving gold. And there were only 2 people, mind you, who did get gold. So I wanted to be there. And in my thoughts, in my mind, I was like, okay, I have 3 quarters to do this. Technically 2, because for the fourth quarter, that's when they average all 4 quarter grades. So even if I got a 96 on the fourth quarter and the rest of my grades were 95, 95, 95, and they couldn't average to a 96, then I wouldn't go up the stage as gold. That was also one of my motivations, by the way. Because my school had this little program where it was only for our batch, not batch, it was only for our grade, where we could do the valedictorian, salutatorian stuff to transition because, well, they didn't want to ruin tradition, even though the school curriculum for my country added what, 2 extra years of high school. My school wanted to do that. So yeah, we had valedictorian, salutatorian, no third placer. Uh, Going back, all right. First quarter grade was a 95.25. Okay. It's not the worst grade I could have gotten, but it's not the best grade. So of course, going into the second quarter, I was looking at my grades. I was reflecting. I had reflected. One of my grades was from this subject called bookkeeping, and mind you, the rest of the subjects I had, the rest of the grades for those subjects were all 90 plus, 94 plus, 92 plus, 96, 98, all of that stuff. But this one subject called bookkeeping, I had an 88. I did the math. Well, you don't even need to do the math to see that it was the subject dragging me down. Okay, the rest of my grades were amazing. So when I saw that, I just decided, okay, I'm gonna try harder. Participate more, do better on the exam. Their second quarter ends. It was another amazing performance by me. Some exam scores weren't as high, but it wasn't a massive difference, right? It was only like what, 2 points. Then when I looked at my grades, after the second quarter ended, they gave the cards back, they gave the grades back. I saw something strange. I had the exact same average as the previous quarter. Okay, and that's after a lot more effort was put in. Lo and behold, there's one subject that was holding me down too. Can you guess what it was? It was still the bookkeeping subject. I still got in a 88 grade. And yeah, it wasn't great. So that's when I decided, all right, it's time I talk to my teacher, my bookkeeping teacher, because if I keep doing that, if I just keep, trying without asking her what can I do, then, well, it's just being plain stupid, right? And I don't. There's nothing interesting that happened. If that's what you guys were thinking, no, it was 10th grade. Come on, guys. Um, I asked my teacher. It was one of the free time periods. I asked her, "Can I talk about my grades? What can I do about them? What can I do to improve?" And she said, "Sure." So for that period, I sat down with her and I gave her some background. I told her like my goal this school year was to get the gold rank. It's only a few people have it, and I was really close the past two quarters, but some reason I still have an 88 on your subject, right? Mind you, the subject was kinda. I mean, it was okay, sometimes. Yeah, no, it was a pretty boring subject. I'm just gonna be completely honest. I don't know if my teacher will ever see this video. I hope not. But it was a really boring subject, and it was also somewhat hard. Okay, that's because it was about accounting, and I really don't have that kind of brain. But I still had to get through it, and I did. So I told her my sob story. I wanted to get gold this year. I thought it was my last chance, and I don't think I could get that next year. And she said, "Really, you?" Not in like not that kind of way, but something. She said it like that, but in a different tone, more like a supporting tone, right? Like really, like I don't know how to replicate that. Okay, but it was something like that. And I actually didn't really change anything I did. I still didn't participate as much. Still got pretty high scores on everything else. And oh yeah, I want to add, we had a research subject that quarter because English was done. English was done. So it's time for research, and boy, we were lucky. Okay, our research was online. Actually, you can have many different perspectives. Maybe lucky then because we had it easier, but looking back now, kind of wish we had that experience so that I'm more prepared now. But it's okay. Why is the cow there? It happens. I'll do what I can this year. So yeah, I got my third quarter grades. Okay, it was basically the end of the school year at this point. And when I saw the list, okay, when I saw the honors list, my name was up there, gold rank with four other people. And when I tell you that was the most accomplished I've felt in a while, it was amazing. Yeah, all those efforts done, all those late night activities. I think, okay, I kind of forgot to, I mean, I didn't say this because I don't think it was really important, but I believe I lost what, 5, almost 7 kilograms, because I was really pushing myself that third quarter. Okay, it was actually the last chance because, as I said earlier, the fourth quarter I was cooked. I would be cooked if I only got gold there, if I only maintained the 96 average there. But the Lord was with me because I did it. I really, really did it. I got gold. But that's not where the story ended. Because if you go to your calculator right now, all right, you add these. Hold on. I gotta get my phone out. You add 95.25 plus 95.25 again plus 96.50. Then divide that by 3. You would be getting 95.666666667, right? And that, no, 95 point, yeah. You wouldn't, that isn't enough to get gold as your final rank when all is said and done. So I was happy, but I knew the game wasn't done. I had to say that. Okay, Kobe is really cool. He was a really big inspiration to me there, because like I heard the stories of people never giving up, pushing through everything. And when I was going through that journey, Kobe was a really important role model. So yeah, anyways, third quarter, there you go. I got it. But that means I could get, or I could go up the stage for the fourth quarter as gold if, and only if, I got a grade where a year ago I wouldn't even be thinking of trying to get. Alright? I believe I needed 97. Okay, no, I needed 97. You know how insane that is? That's like barely, no, barely any not perfect, non-perfect quizzes. All right, especially because we had two language subjects, and English I did great, but the other one not so much. Even though it's supposed to be my mother tongue, I'm not that fluent. You know, goated teacher. So, you know what happened? You know what happened after I realized I needed to get a grade, a 97 grade. Because mind you, 98 is the max. They don't go 100 for some reason. I don't know why. So I would need to get a 97. And guess what I got the last quarter? A 97. So yeah, I I achieved it. You know, after all the hard work, after all that lost weight, after all those tears. Yes, I did cry. Okay, please don't judge. After all those tears, after everything I went through, it was all worth it. No, I never gave up because I knew that if it was really meant for me, the Lord will make it happen. And there you go. I was one of the 3 students during graduation day that went up the stage as gold. Sure, my accolades weren't as impressive as everyone else or the other two uh, gold gold achievers. Well, they were both women. I was the only man, so that was also kind of what do you call that? I was the odd one out. I mean, they also had really great accolades like best in mathematics, best in science. I didn't get any of that. I was just pure gold, nothing else. I wasn't the best at anything. I was just there. I was um, I was good enough to be gold, but I wasn't good enough to be the best at any of the subjects. I still got gold. I was one of the three. And you know what? That's pretty. It's pretty great. It's definitely a journey. I definitely enjoyed it. So much memories were made, especially this new with the friend group. They were they were great. They really were great. But it's okay. Time passes. Right now, that last year is just a memory. I mean, friends I had then, I still have some of them, but not all of them. I mean, last video I was talking about losing 3 major people. Those 3 major people were also had a really big impact last year. I mean, of course, one of them was my girlfriend. One of them was my best friend. The other guy, the close friend I had since 8th grade, he didn't play too big of an impact, but he was still there. So appreciate him. But now I don't have those 3 people. Although I do have more friends, I still somewhat miss them. You know, so many memories that could have happened now just can't. And yeah, it's that's life. You know, I just wanted to share this story because I wanted to, I guess, in a way, teach a message. And the message is that I have 2 messages for you actually. One, first message I'm gonna tell you is you really shouldn't stop trying if you really want something. Okay? No matter how much challenges you're gonna face, you know, even if things may look like you made no progress, doing something is better than doing nothing. Okay, so please never stop striving to be great because if you do, one day you're gonna think, damn, I wish I did that. And my second message for you, it's not really as positive as the first one, but to prepare yourself for change in life. There's not many things in life that will stay the same. Speaking from experience, I thought many people were gonna stay with me, you know, through and through everything. But no. So this is what I'm gonna tell you. You will always experience change. And you shouldn't fear that. You can't predict the future. So why be afraid of something that will happen eventually? Something you don't know. No. No one knows what's gonna happen soon. Only God knows. So don't stop striving to be great. You know, be who you wanna be. That's just life. And don't fear change because you can't avoid change. I mean, as I'm speaking right now, as you are watching this video right now, you're listening to me, you've been the oldest you have been. What I mean by that is you aren't getting any younger. All right? Every second right now is a point where like you're older than you were. You've been the oldest you have been. Because you aren't experiencing the future now. You're experiencing the present. Sure, if this was the past, you'd be like, wow, I'm really that old. But now it's like you're still you're getting older. Alright? And change will always happen no matter what. You can't stop change. So enjoy life as it is because you don't know how long until something is disappear. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I mean, I think I stretched this out into another 20, almost 30-minute video. So if you did listen to the final part, I thank you. This is my second video on the channel, and I didn't really do much for the Minecraft gameplay because it's kind of hard thinking and playing, like thinking of a past story. But yeah, thank you so much. You know, if you really did make it this far, I'm probably gonna do. I'm gonna I'm gonna clip this video. You know, put a YouTube Shorts, boost algorithm, and so that a lot more people can see this. And if I do, it's probably going to be the last part. So yeah, thank you again. You know, if you are watching the video, if this is something that you finished, thank you for listening to my story, to the journey I experienced last year. And if you did learn something, you know, I'll I'll be very happy. Of course, please leave a comment because I enjoy, you know, reading what other people think about it. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. Thank you so much for everything, and see you on the next video. Bye.